The United Arab Emirates is a federation of 7 semi-autonomous emirates with a resident population of approximately 9.8 million, of whom an estimated 11% are citizens. The rulers of the 7 emirates constitute the Federal Supreme Council, the country's highest legislative and executive body. The council selects a president and a vice president from its membership, and the president appoints the prime minister and cabinet. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, ruler of Abu Dhabi Emirate, is president, succeeding former President Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan after the latter's death in May. The Emirates are under patriarchal rule with political allegiance defined by loyalty to tribal leaders, leaders of the individual emirates, and leaders of the federation. A limited, appointed electorate participates in periodic elections for the partially elected Federal National Council, a consultative body that examines, reviews, and recommends changes to legislation and may discuss topics for legislation. The most recent election was in 2019, when appointed voters elected 20 Federal National Council members. Citizens may express their concerns directly to their leaders through traditional consultative mechanisms such as the open majlis, forum, but they do not have the right to choose their government in free and fair elections. Each emirate maintains a local police force called a General Directorate, which is officially a branch of the Federal Ministry of Interior. All emirate-level General Directorates of Police enforce their respective emirates' laws autonomously. They also enforce federal laws within their emirate in coordination with one another under the Federal Ministry. Civilian authorities maintained effective control over the security forces. There were reports that members of the security forces committed some abuses. Significant human rights issues included credible reports of arbitrary arrest and detention, including those involving hostile prison conditions such as incommunicado detention by government officials, political prisoners, transnational repression against individuals in another country, unlawful government interference with privacy, serious restrictions on free expression and media, including censorship and enforcement of or threat to enforce criminal libel laws, serious restrictions on internet freedom, substantial interference with the freedom of peaceful assembly and freedom of association, including overly restricted laws on the organization, funding, or operation of non-governmental organizations and civil society organizations, inability of citizens to change their government peacefully through free and fair elections, serious and unreasonable restrictions on political participation, serious government restrictions or harassment of domestic and international human rights organizations, laws criminalizing consensual same-sex sexual conduct between adults, and outlawing of independent trade unions and significant restrictions on workers' freedom of association. The government investigated, prosecuted, and punished some officials who committed corruption-related abuses, primarily official financial crimes. There was no publicly available information on whether authorities investigated complaints of other abuses or prosecuted and punished officials in connection with these complaints.